Well, YouTubers, wanted to give an update. I hadn't given one in a while because the truck's been so trouble-free. I mean, you hate to keep saying the same thing over and over. The truck's great, the truck's awesome, and really had much new to report, but the truck has 98,000 miles on it. I hadn't had one single issue. I've been doing the oil changes a little early because it's just me. It's just something about me. I don't see changing the oil at 55,000. That's what they recommend, or 40,000. I changed it, and I've been going up to 30, 35 sometimes. So I only had to change it once. With that, with the mileage being able to go that high, you don't have to do a lot of oil change, which saves you money too. So it's been doing awesome. I mean, there's nothing I can complain about. Doesn't use any oil. Fuel mileage is getting about 7.5, maybe 7 2/10 mile per gallon, and it would do better than that, but I didn't get the trip pack, so I have to idle the truck when I'm hot. Mostly when I'm cold, I just shut it off. It's been cool weather here lately, so I don't have to idle it as much. But when it's hot, I have to run the AC, and it's been doing awesome. Power is amazing. I could imagine if I had a pulling gear in like a 323 or something, how this truck would perform. It's I got 308 road gears in here, so it's really set up from what I found. And I want to thank Armando for that, because he recommended the 308 gears, because he asked me what speed you usually run going down the road. And I usually run a little above the speed limit, which is 70 mile an hour. So he said, man, try the 308 gears. And I thank Armando for that, because this truck actually gets better fuel mileage when I run 73, because it doesn't pull down on hills, and it keeps RPMs up. So it gets better fuel mileage at 73 than 70, which is due to the way you got the gears set up in the transmission, and how the truck's set up to run. It's actually getting better fuel mileage when you run a little faster, because you don't get drugged down on hills. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's what it's doing. Tires are still good. So truck's got 98,000, a little over 98,000 miles on it. I hadn't had so much of an issue. Now, like I said, I heard some people say that they had issues out of the air dryers, or I think the transmission, it uses air and hydraulics to shift with. But I mean, even with my old truck, I always pull the glad hands off once every 30 days, and I get a can of WD-40, and just spray it in your airline, spray it down in your airline, both of them. When you hook to a trailer and you pressurize your air system, air goes through the trailer and through the truck and through the dryer, and it lubricates and it cleans. People don't know it, but WD stands for water displacement. That's what it's for. So it helps your air dryer system do its job more effectively. So I don't have an issue with water getting into my system and things of that nature. I hadn't had any issues with my air dryer at all. One key factor I remember is, when you service this truck, use Mack filters. That's one thing I found. The first oil change I did aftermarket filters, and aftermarket fuel filters. I guess they're cheaper, but the fuel filter on this truck, the last one I just changed out, it wasn't even ready to be changed, but I changed it anyway. It had 35,000 miles on the fuel filter, and I told the mechanic, I said, when you put those aftermarket fuel filters on there, I had to change them at about 10,000 miles. And he said, well, Mack uses a larger particulate filter. Well, that's awesome. If Mack uses it, it's okay for me. So you're going to service it, try to use a Mack filters. Oil change has been awesome. Like I said, truck's got 98,000 miles on it now, and I have not had one issue. You know, I increased the tire pressure in the front tires because I don't like to sag, you know, but the air pressure was dead on, but I just raised it up 10 pounds. It seems to drive better to me like that. Fuel treatment, I put some in there from time to time when I'm pulling heavy hills and stuff just to help it out, but it's been doing great, you know. I'm trying to remember, do I need to go and I think he recommended to do an overhead on it at 100,000. So that's my next thing, to get an overhead done at 100,000. I think they readjust the valves in it or something like that. But as far as the truck goes, it's been doing totally great. Not one issue. I found out that the lane assist, if your windshield's dirty and you got a lot of bugs on your windshield, that lane assist is at forward. It'll say forward imaging on the dash, malfunction, forward imaging. That's because you got a lot of bugs, well, for mine. If you get a lot of bugs on your windshield and it gets on that little camera that's on the windshield up there, it'll cause the forward imaging to come on. So I keep my windshield clean, and I don't have too much of an issue with it. So that's about it. Truck's got 98,000 miles on it. Pulls like a demon, loaded or empty. It don't make no difference. This truck really doesn't care about weight. I've run into a few Peterbilts, and friends of mine got big Peterbilts and stuff at my job, and they can't run with this truck. They cannot pull it, loaded or empty. So it's been an awesome truck, not one issue. I try to stay on top of my maintenance, but I hadn't done a lot to this truck. No more than greasing it and keeping the oil changed in it. And I got a load now that I picked up out of Richmond, Virginia, going to Iowa